Hi, my name is Musa. I'm an actor, director, and content creator. I think TikTok in itself is an unexplored, I like to say, real estate of platform to showcase whatever you want to showcase. Because I think a lot of people still view TikTok as just these silly dances and doing funny things and ad libs and stuff, but it's quite a big platform. If you compare it to like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, TikTok, the algorithm helps you to get followers quite fast. And so your content could be featured on someone's feed maybe once or twice a day. I've had instances where people say, Musa, you're on fire. I've seen like 5 of your videos in one day. And I'm like, I've posted these things in the space of 2 weeks. What are you talking about? So yeah, I think TikTok is a very good platform for content creation. And a lot of these youngsters coming up are using that platform to showcase themselves, and then they are now branching out into YouTube. So they get their following on TikTok and then they just migrate to YouTube. Like what a lot of these big YouTubers, like your Logan Pauls in the States, for example, and Liza Koshy, they all started on Vine.
Yeah, Vine.
Yeah, they started on Vine. Vine was the same concept as TikTok.
For Instagram creators, or TikTokers, I'll say, or people that use Facebook and Twitter, it's more like you get to talk to a certain number of people that have reach of internet, and then to some extent they can never get to see us. I can never go to Zumba and say, hi, how are you doing? Maybe I know so on WhatsApp, because some of our videos go viral on WhatsApp, and maybe I didn't get WhatsApp. No, say, why you want to status? But generally, by use of platforms, to some extent it hinders our progress, because we need internet access at the end of the day to know us.
Effects of internet penetration is, I think, it's at the center of everything. It's at the center of everything, and it's a predicament, as you put it. In the sense that, there is a bit of a cosmopolitanism, but that's there, in the sense that sometimes the content is only like really available for, it's only very few people who can actually access the type of content that we're creating. I want to believe that there is a bit of myopia that comes. So I think like the internet is overrated, like especially in this side of the hemisphere, because there's so many people say, when the internet was going to be quite like a democratic space for various people to really explore, but we still feel that there is a divide, there is a gap that's between the rural and the cosmopolitanism, like the people who are in cities like Harare or Bulawayo. So I think we might really be applauding ourselves for having that medium of communication, but it's in Zimbabwe there's still very few people who have access to that space. So you probably find that most people really actually get their news on WhatsApp, and some still don't have access to WhatsApp. So it's a predicament, but I'm sure we're getting somewhere here.
60% of the population is not even online, which means that is more than half of the population doesn't know that Musa exists and is an entertainer. And and because of the work that I'm in, which is theater, that dwindles it down to maybe like 3%, because the average person doesn't really go watch theater, you know what I mean? And so the next best thing is to take my theater work and put it online. And then you're now dealing with maybe 35% of the population, of which maybe you will appeal to maybe 10 or 5% of the population, because people like their different genres.
COVID has had pros and cons. I think the greatest con is that majority of the work we do involves a lot of movement, getting a lot of people on a set, people, whether it's the crew or those that we're interviewing. But because of COVID, some people are very reluctant to actually be present, because you find the whole production team is close to about 10 people, and people get a bit edgy with that. But in terms of now, maybe the pro effect of COVID is that people are now very much digital. So it's been a plus. So if you produce something now, you're guaranteed thousands of people would want to watch it, because a lot of people are now on their, on the phones, laptops, and they seemingly have more time.
To some extent, I'd say it affected me to the positive side, because generally, in as much as there is the pandemic, people can't go out. It means you're spending more time on your mobile cell phones. So it's an advantage for us content creators, because the more time you're not working and on your phones, the more we're getting more numbers on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. So yeah, so I can't even have corona, but to some extent for content creators, especially online content creators, it becomes an advantage, because we get maximum reach of each and every person we want to disseminate our information to.
When the pandemic really hit us in the first place, it was really difficult for some of us to really, figure it out. It was really, it was tough. Like there was a time when we were actually really forced to shut down, just the whole, the office thing. Do you understand? Where we were really getting used to working from home. But then I think when we got into the late last year, we were really able to adapt to the new normal, as people would like to call it. So I think it was a taste for so many creative, for various creatives to really figure out, it was a taste to say, how creative are you? Because you cannot claim to be a creative if you're not going to really innovate something.
People like my character of the videos I disseminate. They think, I'm sorry, so probably I'm not together, but generally I'm a nice person to other people. So, but to some extent, when it comes to social media, in Zimbabwe specifically, most challenges now, people in Zimbabwe do not believe in engagement and supporting certain content creators. People support certain content, but if content is something that benefits the youth and a lot of people, that other people just disseminate every day. And you see Zimbabweans are like, but tikataka content yekurwa, conflict, kana kuti ndikatuka nyingi, ndikaita sex tape. Especially when I do videos, I usually give balance. You can see from the views, I can reach 200,000 people on TikTok as well as on Instagram. And then you get maybe 20,000 views. That's the major challenge we have.
There's something lacking in terms of originality. You'll find that if one person is doing something that is appeal to a lot of people, you'll find there are 3 or 4 other people who try to do the same thing. You know what I mean? And for me, that's what I feel is sort of lacking within the creative industry in terms of online content. And so I would like to see that us get to a space where each person represents themselves in a different light. And be like, okay, I'm Musa, I'm fine with appealing to maybe the 2%, right? And then I'm fine with letting whoever, so-and-so, appeal to whatever percent. Don't compromise yourself because you want to appeal to the other 20% because your 2% are not there. So I'd say I would not compromise who I am. I'll just maintain that 2% because that's what I'm good at, kind of thing. If that makes sense.
I like this kid on TikTok. He's called Astra263. A lot of people know him as Clifford. I think that is spectacular work. That's in terms of the TikTok side. I've watched a number of episodes of the feed. I think it's about the quality and the storytelling. I like that. It's not a paid for advert. I like myself in the sense that I think it helps someone believe and hope that they can do what they say they're gonna do. I think in terms of creation, music-wise, I'm a very big fan of a number of creators. I love the creativity of Aishan. I love Tani. Bibo is crazy. I like that. I like Miss Red, the way she does the radio and the way she reinvents herself constantly. In terms of influence, oh man, the list it's endless. I think people have got different areas they're in, and they create based on the need for their specific market. I find it to be very interesting and creative.